Alrighty, folks. I think we are good to go. I think we're going to be getting started here right now. So here we go. All right. So welcome to Service Spring. We just wanted to welcome you to our 7th annual LiftMaster educational seminar. We love putting these sort of things on, and we're excited that you guys were able to take time out of your busy schedules to come with us here today. My name is Matt McAleer. I'm the CEO of Service Spring Corporation. I'm also 4th generation, and I've been with the company for a little bit over 10 years now. I've had the privilege most recently to be responsible for opening up the new service center in Orlando, and then I've been fortunate enough to be able to get my fingers into all sorts of different kinds of things regarding the business. Pretty much, all the different kind of interesting intricacies I've been able to get into. So. I want to just get started and just mention, we got a lot of great content for you guys today. We got a ton of great LiftMaster experts here in the room. And some of the things that we're going to be talking about today is the Myq Technology. We're going to be talking about commercial connectivity. We're going to be talking about safety here at the end of the presentation. And then we're also going to be talking about cloud and perimeter access. So we are streaming this presentation live online, and then we also have it available in our Orlando location, and so people are able to see that there. So if you are watching it online, you are able to go on to the chat box there, and you can ask a question at any time, and our sales team should be able to get to your questions. Also, after the presentation, our presenters here should be able to answer some of those questions as well. But we want to make sure that if you are online, that you put in your first name, you put in your company, and then you fill out your message, and then all you got to do is click the go button to actually go ahead and send that message. So if you're also in the Orlando location, the sales representative that we have there, Brandon Hayes, is going to be able to answer your questions at that time. So I'm sure you guys are excited and ready to get started here. So we're going to get things kicked off with our first presenter. So our first presenter here is Cherie Johnson, familiar face. She's been here multiple times. We love having her here. And so Cherie is the radio control sales manager here at LiftMaster. And she's been with the company going on her 16th year. So Cherie has presented here before, and we are excited to have her back. What she's going to be talking about first is going to be the Myq Technology. And let's now welcome Cherie to the stage.
All of your customers connected with LiftMaster products. So I'm going to start out with residential. So we're going to do a quick Myq overview of what Myq really is, some of the features and benefits that Myq can bring to you and your customers. Give you some retrofit options, because we do get a lot of questions for how I can retrofit an older operator. Going to talk about our Wi-Fi garage door openers and how that can help you grow your business. And then I have some new products that I'm going to talk about at the very end. So first, technology overview. Everybody's familiar with clickers and transmitters and pressing a button and something moves. So Myq is a little bit different. Myq is a two-way communication. It uses a specific 900 megahertz radio. It's 50 channels. It's called frequency hopping spread spectrum. That's just a really fancy way of saying it's kind of cool and jumps around to give you the best performance through the longest range to get that communication. It does provide you the ability to not only monitor, but also to control. So we've got some some technology built into our products that allow you to do the control via a safe manner that meets the UL 325 requirements. And we do have some add-on accessories so you can simplify your life a little bit with lighting controls and a garage door monitor, which is a nice little product as well. And the Myq radio is available on the majority of our LiftMaster products. So all of our residential garage door openers have Myq technology built in. All of our commercial door operators, which Luke is going to talk about, and as well as our gate operators. So anything that's the UL 325 2016 or those burgundy boards on the gate operators, that all has Myq technology as well. So what are the benefits of Myq? Well, first of all, there is an app. You can get it either in Apple or Android, and it's free to download. And right now, there's no annual activation fee. In fact, contrary to popular belief, there has never been an annual activation fee. Right now, you can get that all for free monitoring and control, so you can see if your garage door is open or closed, or you can open and close it if you need to as well, turn lights on and off. We do have alerts in the Myq app, so you can actually set up an alert so that if your garage door opens, you can get a push notification or an email that says your garage door just opened. So if nobody's home and your garage door just opened, you have to call the neighbor and find out what's going on. You can also check the status of everything. So I have mine set up where if my garage door opener is open for more than 20 minutes, I get a second alert that says it's been open for 20 minutes. So then I can call my husband and say, are you home? And he says no, and then I close the door for him. So it's kind of nice to have that as well. We do have scheduling now available within the app, so you can schedule different things. You can schedule to close a door. So for instance, if the door is open at 9 o'clock p.m., close it. So you can only schedule the door to close. You cannot schedule it to open at this time, and that's purely for safety and security. And the other thing you can do is schedule lights on and off. So one of the ones that I did this year, or this past year, was all my Christmas lights were on Myq accessory light controls. And I scheduled all my Christmas lights to turn on at 5:30 p.m. and turn off at 11:30. So I didn't have to deal with it. When I came home, my house was nice and pretty. And then with the Wi-Fi, so it gives you another way to get to the internet. So prior that, we had a gateway, so that had to be plugged in. That's your wired way to the internet. And then with Wi-Fi, that just gives us a wireless connection. So we're trying to move as much of our product to Wi-Fi to make it easier for you and your customers to actually get on the internet and experience Myq. So the accessories that we have in residential, in fact, they're accessories for everybody, are the gateway. That's your wired access to get onto the internet. That's the 828LM. It just plugs into a router, and then it will talk to any Myq device like your garage door opener, your gate operator. It has to be within range. Typical range is about 1,000 to 1,500 feet, depending on where you are in the environment that you're in. The 829LM is our garage and gate monitor. It can control up to 4 devices, so 2 garage door openers and 2 gate operators, and you can close them, but you cannot open them. So there is a close button. There's also a volume button on that, so if you do want to hear, get an alert that the door just opened or the gate opened and you've got that set up, you can get that alert. If you don't want it, you just turn the volume off. And then there are 2 light controls. One is a light switch, and the other one is a plug-in light. So a plug-in light would be used for a lamp or Christmas lights. And the light switch is a single pole light switch. It can't be a dimmable or a 3-way single pole. You can just swap out your light switch for that. And now that you can actually control. So I have mine in the kitchen, so I can control my kitchen overhead light, or I can just turn it on and off from the switch. It's smart enough to know what's the state, so you don't have to get a weird toggle issue going on. So it's kind of a nice little device as well. So upgrade. So if you've got an older garage door opener, or even a competitive garage door opener, and they want Myq, how does that work? We have 2 ways that you can do that, and it works for most garage door openers out there that aren't the Myq stuff from LiftMaster. So if it's a LiftMaster manufactured by the Chamberlain Group, so LiftMaster, Craftsman, Chamberlain brand, Rainer, any of those brands that are manufactured by us, and they was made after 1998, which was a long time ago, you just swap out the control panel with the 888LM control panel. I have one up here if anybody wants to see what it looks like. Kind of is a little bit extra that gives you access to get to the internet, so this will talk to that gateway and make that garage door opener now, because that control panel is wired, so it gives you all the feedback. The other thing, when you're controlling a garage door remotely or from not line of sight, you need to have 2 alerts per UL 325. One has to be a visual alert. This will tell the garage door opener lights to blink because it's wired in. And you have to have an audible alert. This actually has a piezo buzzer in it, so this will beep for you to meet that UL 325 requirement. And it's super easy. You just take the old control panel off and put this one on. You will need the 828 gateway in order to connect to the internet, but it's fairly simple, and like I said, it'll work with anything manufactured by us since 1998. And then the other way that you can do it is the Myq Garage, the 821LM. That is more of a universal thing. If you're familiar with our universal transmitter, our 375 UT, this particular device has that same capability with one caveat. The universal transmitter can do some dip switch technology that can work on some older garage door openers that don't have photo eyes. This device, 821LM, is smart enough to know whether or not that operator has photo eyes and that they were mandatory. So if the photo eyes are installed but they weren't mandatory, which means you can take them off and the door will still close, you cannot use this for it. All right, so that's one of the things. So it's pretty much everything from 1993 on was mandatory photo eyes. So this one will upgrade and it'll work with our competitive units as well. Genie, Wayne Dalton, so that kind of thing. It won't work with Marantec and Horman, unfortunately. But that's a really nice way to do it. And again, this product is doing all the work. It's got the piezo buzzer in it. It's also got the light. You can see the little light. And it's actually programmed to the garage door opener through its remote control. And then there's a little door sensor that gets put up on the corner. I suggest putting it on the upper right or upper left corner of the garage door opener because there's a tilt switch in it. So as soon as that door gets into a horizontal, it knows that the door's open. If you're gonna have high lift, you might have a gap where it still thinks the door is closed. So just make sure you're putting it where you need to put it. All right, so now we're gonna talk about Wi-Fi and why we're moving to Wi-Fi. So all of our Elite Series operators, those would be our Burgundy operators, are now Wi-Fi enabled, which means they all have Wi-Fi built in. That means you don't need a gateway. The gateway is built into the garage door opener, and it talks to the router via the Wi-Fi network in the home. That makes it easier for you guys to sell the Myq connectivity. The operators come with a little card. You're gonna hand the card to the homeowner. They just connect, they sign up for the app, download the app on the phone, they type in the Myq serial number that's on the little card, and it's all set up for them. So it's really easy to do, and it's the only thing that they're going to need to know is their Wi-Fi password. It's the #1 question we get at tech support, and it's usually because they don't know the Wi-Fi password or somebody else is the keeper of the password and they're not there at the time. So it makes it really easy to sell this and install it. No more need to go in and help them plug it into the router if you ever did that, or if you don't want to really go into their house or touch their computer stuff. So this makes it easy, and it puts it on the customer, and it's very easy for the customer to do it. It's like setting up a smart TV. So we introduced Wi-Fi garage door openers probably like a year and a half ago. Was the first ones. It was the 8550 with that BBU unit that came out. That was the first one. We now have 5 units that are Wi-Fi enabled standard. They're automatic Wi-Fi, and we're launching more. There's some other models we're working on right now. I just don't have the dates of when those are going to launch, but we are working to move Wi-Fi through our product category, and it's starting with residential. It makes it a lot easier for you guys selling residential openers. So the key thing is, before with just the regular 8550 or the older units, you needed to have that gateway plugged into the router. Now it just wirelessly talks to the router via the Wi-Fi network. I have a detached garage, and it works perfectly fine. So the one thing that you do need to know is with the gateway, you had 16 devices, and the garage door opener could also do its own 16 devices. And why would you need to do that? Well, a garage door monitor is actually programmed directly into the garage door opener. It's not in the network, whatever. It's just kind of like a local monitoring and control. So with the Wi-Fi garage door openers, 10 devices are set up for external devices, and 6 are reserved for the garage door opener alone. And that means that you could have garage door monitors. You could have multiple ones. I have 2 that are tied to mine. One is in my living room, one's in my bedroom on the garage door monitor. You can also set up light controls to mimic the work lights. So when you come into the garage, the work lights or the GDO task lights come on, you can set up a remote light control, program it directly into the garage door opener, and put it on a bigger light. And so when you come into the garage, all the lights can come on. So if you have a need for more lighting, you can do that as well. So those would be programmed directly to the opener. So if you need more than 10 devices, then you would have to add a gateway. All right, super easy to get connected. This is something that your customer would do, so I'm just going to kind of briefly go through it. On the control panels, the smart control panel is obviously the easiest. There's a button to set up for Wi-Fi setup. So you set that. You go into your phone, your mobile phone, and you're going to look for the Myq in the wireless network and click on that. Go to open up a Safari in your phone if you have an iPhone, and you're going to set up.myq.device or myqdevice.com, and it'll actually recognize your Myq serial number. You can either write it down there. It's also on a label on your garage door opener, and it's also on the card that you just handed the consumer. So it's in 3 different places, very easy to access. Download the app, set up an account, and your Myq enabled garage door opener will already be in your app. So it's kind of cool. So it's super easy. This would be something your customer would be doing maybe while you're just cleaning up and throwing away the old garage door opener, right? Okay, so we do have some new products. 2 of them are related to Myq. So one of the big things that we get from consumers is how I want to control my garage door opener with my Apple Homekit. So what is Apple Homekit? Homekit is Apple's solution to home automation. So there's a bunch of devices out there that you can buy and add in your home that you can connect into your Apple Homekit. And now the garage door opener is going to be one of them with LiftMaster. So you can see, got this little circle of my garage door opener. So what are the benefits? You have everything in one device. So right now we have our app, and we love our app, but heck, if you want to use your Apple HomeKit app, we're going to let you do that now. And it gives you Siri voice control. Siri, open my garage door. So now you can actually tell Siri to do stuff. If she understands you, she does not understand me. You can choose multiple accessories and set up scenes. So if you've got your garage door opener in your HomeKit, and you have maybe a front door lock and a light in the hallway, and you say, for that scene, I want to shut that light off, I want to lock the front door and close the garage door, and that's your scene. You can connect that all with an Apple HomeKit, so all 3 things can happen at once, and you just tell Siri to good night. So you can say, Siri, good night, and those 3 things can happen. So it's kind of a nice little thing. If you want to control this from not directly in your home, you will need either Apple TV or a dedicated iPad for your home automation. And right now, the HomeKit with our new products, it will only work on the garage door openers, the residential garage door openers. It won't work on the commercial products yet. We're working on that, but to begin with, everything will be residential. So we have 2 new accessories coming out. I happen to have some lovely prototypes here. So the first one is the Home Bridge. So if you've got a Myq garage door opener today, like me, I have one at home, but it's not HomeKit capable, I would have to add this. So this is the Home Bridge. Kind of looks similar to our Myq garage, right? But it's really it's just working with the Myq opener. If I had a gateway, this would replace the gateway. This is like a wireless gateway with HomeKit capability. And in the future, if you just want to get that, you can do that as long as you have a Myq garage, right? And you don't want that gateway, that wired option, you can do that. So this is coming out next week. Yes, end of next week. It's launching. So this is the 819 LMB. It's basically a Wi-Fi internet gateway. It'll be for anything that's enabled with Myq already to provide that connection to the internet and give the residential garage door openers the HomeKit capability. This is going to MSRP, that means to your consumer for about $69.99. And it'll be compatible with both Apple and Android. And then the other one is, we talked about the Myq garage a little earlier. That's how you get all your competition and your older garage door openers. We're going to upgrade that. So this is the Myq Garage 2.0. So this will start replacing the Myq Garage, but not probably until mid-September. and it's just the next generation, but it's HomeKit capable, so you'll have the ability to upgrade your older garage door opener as well as your competitive garage door opener and give it that HomeKit capability. And then this will actually replace the regular Myq garage. So this is the 821 LMB. This one's coming out in mid-September. It says October 15th, but I just got great information this week that it's gonna be a month early. Yay. So, and then we have another new product. We showed this at IDA this year, so if you were at IDA, you might have seen it. This is our 841 LM, it's our auto lock. If you've ever installed one of our jack shaft operators, our RJO 8500, this is very similar to that lock. There are a couple of little differences, but one of the things that we got from consumer research was they really liked that thunk of the lock, that they hear that and they, oh, everything is nice and safe, right? So when are we gonna have the lock on other products? Well, now we're gonna have the lock for other products. We do have to do a couple of changes to the operators in order to do it. So to start with, the 3 Elite series, the 8550, the 8557, and the 8587, those will be auto lock capable. And you can do up to 2 locks per, so you could put them on both sides if you want, if you have a big door. One of the other things that we're working on, for those of you down in Florida, is that is gonna meet some hurricane ratings as well. So you might wanna inquire into what that's gonna do with your salesperson. So the difference, so the 841 LM is slightly different from the one that comes packaged with the 8500 today. This one's a 12 volt version. The RJO one is a 24 volt, so they are different. They cannot be interchanged, right? We're gonna change the wire to 33 feet. Right now, today in the 8500, it's 10 feet because it's usually fairly close to the operator. Now that you're gonna be wiring it to a trolley operator, you're gonna need that extra wire. We're gonna update the pin connector from to a 3-pin versus a 2-pin. That'll help you identify that they're different. And then we were gonna put LiftMaster branding on this one, so that's another way that you can check that this is a 12 volt version for the auto lock for the trolley operators. You can upgrade an older 8550 or 8557 to get auto lock on them. You will have to swap out not only the board, but the end panel as well, because it needs that access point to that little connector, and the current product out there doesn't have that connector port. One of the things is once you put an auto lock device on and you have everything on Myq, you will see a little shield will come up on your thing. When the door is closed, the shield will come on to let you know that your auto lock is engaged. You won't be able to at this time or open or close it. Right now it's just telling you that auto lock is engaged and you're nice and safe. All right? That's all I got. I have a question?
Hi, Cherie. We've got a question from a couple on the online chat. One of them was, is there any plans for the light switch to be anything other than single pole?
I don't know of anything right now. I do know that we're working on some other light products. I don't know how that's going to be done, but as far as I know, I haven't seen any project for a dimmable or a 3-way version of that yet.
Okay,
Sorry.
and we do have another question. I'll find it here. Do the internet gateway retrofit and the Wi-Fi compatible openers now, do they have the same range?
They should have about the same range. So the gateway itself is usually between 1,000 and 1,500 feet, depending on your environment. One of the things that we have noticed with some of our customers is that with the Wi-Fi garage door openers, those garage door openers are typically closer to a gate operator than where your router might be. So they're getting better gate performance when they actually program the gate operator to the hub built into the garage door opener. So if you're having a range issue, the easiest way to check if you're gonna have a range problem on your gate operator is to stand out there and enable Wi-Fi where your phone is looking for the nearest Wi-Fi, and you can see the home Wi-Fi and how many bars you have. If you have at least 2 bars, you'll be fine.
The Apple Home and the Siri, what type of range do you have to be to use the Siri? So if you're driving in your car up the road, can you...
if you're driving and you're not near your house, you will need either an Apple TV in your house or a dedicated iPad in your house to be able to control using Siri via a different location. Otherwise, you have to be within your range. Another question?
We have more. Will the auto lock be available for 8355Ws?
Not yet. The plan is that eventually they will be, but at this time, only the 3 units in the Elite series are going to be auto lock capable. Good? All right, Matt?
All right, thank you very much, Cherie. Sure you guys got a lot of good content out of that one. Learned some new stuff that Siri could do. That's kind of interesting. All right, well, we're going to keep things moving on to our next presenter here, Myq Cronbach. So Myq has been with LiftMaster for 7 years now and recently took the role of connectivity product owner for the CAS business unit in an effort to drive LiftMaster's connectivity strategy forward. Today, Myq will be presenting about commercial connectivity.
Thank you. How are you guys doing today? I've got a video. Typically, they say keep people awake during a webinar. So I'll show the video. I'm going to narrate a little bit to share with you guys a little bit more about what we're really trying to do from a connectivity standpoint in the commercial door operator business. So I'm going to start out. You're going to hear me mimic a little bit what Cherie said because our Logic 5.0 operators have Myq. That's what we have today. So Myq, I'll go through a little bit of that. I'll go through realistically which customers are going to be more inclined to use this, and then we'll get into some more of the connectivity strategy moving forward. So today, I wanted to reiterate our Logic 5.0 operators have 3 new things from our old Logic 4, and this might be going over and over, but I try and keep it down to 3 things you got to remember. So the first thing is Myq. So 1, free app to download. There's no yearly fee, etc. You can monitor and control the same way you can do your home or your residence, and you can receive alerts, etc. 2, Security Plus 2.0, so that's the tri-band frequency, 310, 315, 390. We're seeing drastic range improvements. One of the number 1 issues we've typically had is in a firehouse, because you've got an apparatus sitting there with a whole bunch of radio interference right under the trolley operator, right? We typically got to take a cat cable, stick it out the front of the building, right? Essentially, we've been able to eliminate either somebody calling back to the firehouse and saying, hey, can you open door number 3? Or I don't think I've seen a fireman hanging out the window anymore to get that thing to open. So seen drastic range improvements there with Security Plus 2.0. And then dual voltage. We now carry single phase units, which it's just a Molex plug. You can't put it in backwards. We made sure it was dummy proof. But it's going to switch from 115 to 230 volt single phase, and we've got a 3-phase unit which switches from 208 to 230 to 460 volt 3-phase. We've got a 575 volt unit, mainly the high voltage for the Canadian customers as well. But those are the 3 voltages that we've got, so it's pretty easy to get on site, and if you find that it's 230, it's pretty easy to go ahead and switch it. So again, a little bit of repetitive, but it's 900 megahertz band, 2-way communication, provides the ability to monitor and control the exact same thing that you guys have known and loved on residential. And we've actually seen some range issues there. So when Cherie was saying, hey, it's typically 1,000 to 1,500, not in a steel enclosed building, and you got a ton of 8-inch brick wall, etc., 12-inch brick. So what we've had to do is we've had to get a little creative. So you can actually take the gateway and stick it about 150 feet plugged into an Ethernet cable away from the router. So if you have to, you can get it up in a drop ceiling and get it out closer to the garage. And we've seen a lot of improvement there from that standpoint. And again, it's on our Logic 5.0 product line, residential and gate operators. So where are we really finding the sweet spot? Of course, like I was saying, municipalities. So we walked into the fire station and they said, hey, I want to be able to monitor and control my home at work, right? Because that's where, if you talk to a typical fireman, his work is his home. They live there. They do 24-hour, 36-hour shifts, and they can very easily monitor and control that from anywhere, even inside their apparatus. A lot of them are going to iPads right here at fingertip. And then you've got small business, automotive, and warehouse. So really what you're talking about is we're not going to go out and automate the 100 to 200 dock door warehouse because it's really not, it's typically a smaller solution set, right? So we're looking at small businesses, automotive service centers, automotive dealerships have had great success in the fact that they love the fact that they lose remotes all the time. So they hand them out to the technicians, the technician will lose it or drive over it, etc. And they have the ability to open and close the door from a central location. And then warehouse. So because it's capped at 16 devices per gateway, you'd have to put in multiple gateways. And I'll actually talk a little bit more about that in a couple slides. But so if you needed 30 devices, you'd have to have 2 gateways, and on and on and on. So from there, Cherie talked about it a little bit, but really one of the main questions that I have from a commercial facility manager is, well, so I get it, I can open and close the door, and that's great. What's the real benefit to me? The big benefit for commercial facilities managers are the alerts. So one, uncapped, unlimited. So you can set an alert for every single door. You can set an alert for notify me if it's been open for 15 minutes, if it's been open for 30, 45, an hour, out until infinity, right? So we've got unlimited amount of alerts. And then 2, I want to receive that alert at 3 a.m. My warehouse door just opened. What's going on? Why is somebody there? So I want to set an alert that says, notify me instantaneously if the door opens from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. because I know my warehouse manager leaves at 6 p.m. and he gets in at 6 a.m., right? And that's really where they've seen the benefit of those alerts, and they're able to act on it quickly. The next big piece too, Cherie mentioned, is scheduling. So, of course, in a business, the stakes are a little bit higher, which even lends more credence to the fact that we don't allow you to set a schedule to open the door. We only set a schedule to close. So, I've actually seen a lot of facility managers eliminate the 7-day timer that they typically put on the doors, because you can set an alert or set a schedule, to say I want all my doors to close at 8 p.m. and that's it, right? We're closing down for the day, etc. So they find a lot of benefit in alerts and scheduling as well. The other nice thing is the lights. So especially at a commercial facility, so you can schedule on or off. It's not capped there because we might just waste a little bit of electricity if we leave them on all night, right? But that's another functionality that they very much like. So from there, I'm actually going to do a slight video, like I said. Let me see if we can get this guy going. Awesome. So we've got what we call the energy savings solution. And realistically, we're finding new and better ways to take advantage of that connectivity. And we're, utilizing some local door sensors, of course. but we're enabling a timer to close, paired with a trailer presence sensor, and then utilizing the Myq reporting to save cold storage facilities money, right? So today we're out targeting cold storage facilities with our dealers and partners, and we eventually see this as moving into all temperature controlled, and on and on and on and on. I think one of the big benefits that we see for a facilities manager is that a lot of them know what's going on in their warehouse. They understand that they've got dozens of orders to get out, dozens of trucks coming to pick them up, but they sort of lose visibility in the last 50 feet. So the dock space, what's going on? Because typically we're dealing with unautomated dock doors. The automation is a rope they use to open and close it, right? So we're able to come in and realistically optimize the capabilities, and then really what Myq offers is the ability to report on that optimization. So we've done a couple of pilot test cases where we've actually worked with the utility company in the area to provide an energy rebate to the facilities manager. So what that is we have the ability to tell the facilities manager that your doors were closed when they should have been closed at the right time. And the utility company said, sure, we're going to pay you for that because we see the kilowatt hour savings. Let's click here. And realistically, here's the benefits. You say, so what? So what's the benefits to this? Basically, we've been able to prove that when you leave your door open for a minute a day, it's about $1,100 a year in kilowatt hour energy savings, etc. That only starts to compound as you've got, okay, so that's one door times a minute. Yeah, $1,100, not that much. When you've got 10 doors times a minute, it starts to get a lot more interesting. And then when you've got it open for 5 minutes a day, it compounds. So we've been able to have great success with this program. If you do have any other questions, let me know. We can certainly answer them later. So I wanted to do a quick recap, sort of things to remember. Right now, the residential, as you heard from Cherie, the residential Myq requires that you have the two alerts, so an audible and a visual alert before a remote activation, so somebody hitting the door and closing it or opening it. Right now, the commercial door operators do not have that same requirement, so you don't actually need a audible or a visual. A lot of facilities managers get a little weary of that, right? A remote closure, but we do still have the ability to put additional lights or horns on the door in case of a facility manager being a little wary of that. Next is, so we've got all the same great Myq accessories, so you can actually utilize the light controls in a commercial environment. You can actually utilize that retrofit option. Now I will say this with a caveat, because it has a tilt switch on that door sensor, you can't use it on a full vertical lift door. You'll never know if it's open or closed. It'll just be closed always. So that's the caveat, and then you can actually use those to retrofit other older LiftMaster commercial door operators. And then really, this is a piece I just wanted to touch on very quickly. So as you walk into a commercial environment, most of the time, you're going to have Wi-Fi throughout the building. What that's going to require is some coordination with IT. So the most or the easiest that I've seen is go ahead, give the IT manager the gateway and say, hey, listen, I'd love you to go ahead and set this up. I'll be doing the installation next week. he'll go off, and if he needs to, he can contact LiftMaster technical support to get that thing online and through firewalls if they have any. But then by the time you show up on the job site, you're ready to go. From there, it's like learning a transmitter. It's very, very easy to do. And then the last I wanted to make a note on is the home bridge, and really that is what Cherie was saying. Most of the time when I've walked into a facility, the IT manager says, well, what do you need to do? And I say, hey, I need to plug in this little black box to your big IT cabinet, and he says, yeah, no, that's not going to happen. So what we are introducing with the 819 is a wireless version of that, right? You don't have to go and plug an Ethernet cable in. The 819 will get on the Wi-Fi, and then you can learn in the operators from there. So that's a much easier pitch to the IT department. And then I just did want to mention this very briefly. So Cherie's actually going to come up again because she's so wonderful. She's going to talk to you guys about our LiftMaster cloud solution that we're currently using on our access control business. And the commercial side of the business, we actually see a use for a little bit more robust connectivity solution than the Myq app. So we're going to be pretty soon introducing these capabilities that Cherie will walk you through, connecting to Logic 5 operators as well. So from there, does anyone have any questions? Excellent. All right, I think we'll move on. We're going to move back to Cherie at this point. I'll hand it over to Cherie. There you go.
Okay, so this next presentation, you're going to see some of the same slides, but I know that they break these into individual things that you can just watch individually, so we'll go over them a little more quickly. Clear? Yeah, whatever. All right, so this is going to talk about how to get your customers connected when you're using a LiftMaster gate operator or our access control system. So the gate operators is fairly easy. It's like our residential. We're going to do an operator review, the Myq Technology review, the accessories, and then we're going to start talking about the features and benefits. There is one really cool thing that you can do with gate operators that uses the 900 megahertz. We're going to talk about that. And then I'm going to go over the access control and our LiftMaster cloud, which is like Myq on steroids, all right? So first of all, our LiftMaster gate operators, I didn't know this had like features. So the UL325 2016 gate operators, those are all our newer gate operators with the burgundy boards. Those are all Myq capable. I'm like missing half the slides on here. So basically what you're going to get is you can actually add a gate operator now to your Myq app. It works very similar to the residential and the commercial door operators. You're adding just a gate operator. As I mentioned in the previous one, if you've got a Wi-Fi garage door opener installed at that house, you will probably get better performance because you can just program it directly to the hub in the Wi-Fi garage door opener, and those are usually more line of sight down the driveway to the gate operator. But you get the same types of things that you can. It'll just tell you that you're gate operator. And when you do add a device in the Myq app, it'll ask you what kind of device that you want to learn. It'll give you options, a garage door opener, a commercial door operator, a gate operator, a light control. So you know what type of device. And based on the device that you added, you get a little picture that looks like that product. So for a light, you're going to get a light bulb, and it turns yellow when you turn it on. And then for a gate operator, it looks like a little gate operator that's opening and closing, et cetera. So the technology overview again, Myq is that two-way radio. It uses the 902 to 928 megahertz. It's frequency hopping, spread spectrum. It gives you the ability to monitor and control devices. And it's available on all of our products in residential, commercial, Logic 5, as well as the gate operators. We do not have it on the barrier operators. So the barrier gates don't have Myq technology. And these are our accessories. We're adding one to this one. So one of the things that you do need with the gate operator, because they are not Wi-Fi enabled, you are going to have some way to connect to the internet. So there are 2 ways to connect to the internet. Obviously, we've got our 828LM, that's the wired gateway, and then the 821LM, which is the Myq Garage. You can just use the hub piece of that and program it into the gate operator. You won't need the little tilt switch device, but it gives you access to the internet for the Myq enabled operator. And then we have our 829 garage and gate monitor. It can control up to 4. So you can add 2 doors or 2 gate operators. I know you heard that in the previous one, but we're going to say that again. And have volume control. And then the 2 light switches, or the light switch and the plug-in light, also accessories to be able to add on to your app as well. Myq benefits, same as GDO and the commercial door operators. Free download for Apple and Android. And no annual activation for monitoring control. Alerts, that's it. You can either do that via the push or the email, and then it'll provide status for whether or not your openers are open or closed, or your lights are on or off. And then the schedules, you can, again, only set the schedules to close the gate. You cannot set a schedule to open it, and you can set schedules to turn the lights on and off. As Luke mentioned in the CDO one, since this app is very fixed, it's really recommended only for residential gate applications, or if you've got a small business that might have a gate that comes into their property that you might want to be able to control as well. So the key thing with the UL 325 2016 that we also use the Myq radio for is that we can set wireless master primary. You decide which gate, so if you have 2 gate operators, we'll use swingers for the example. I've got a pad mount swinger here and a pad mount swinger here, and I want to open them up, but I don't want to have to trench underneath it because I have a beautiful, gorgeous driveway, and we don't want to wreck that, right? So you decide, let's see if it works. Which one's going to be your primary? You're going to press the learn button twice to get it into learn mode. Then you're going to go to the second device, second gate operator, press that one in the learn mode, and they will actually learn to each other. And now the first one is your master, and your second one is your primary and your secondary. I almost used master slate. So it does simplify installations. The other thing that's not on here is if you have photo eyes and you're using through beam photo eyes, if you've set this up, your through beam photo eyes don't have to be trenched either. They know that the master has the master photo eye, but you'll have to put the primary photo eye on the master and the other one on the second gate operator. So you don't have to trench for the photo eyes either, and you can use through beam instead of using retroreflective. So that's kind of a nice feature as well. All right. So then we also have our access control. Access control products today, there's going to be some changes in the future, but access control products today really don't have any kind of Myq connection. But what they do have, and I'm going to talk about the 2 that you can work with here, is we have a product called the LiftMaster Cloud. And it is kind of like a software system to control your access control systems, but don't need a dedicated PC. I don't have to have be able to have to upload the information after I make the change or add a resident or anything. Everything is on the cloud, connected together on the cloud, and all wireless. So we have 2 products today. The iPack is the Internet Protocol Access Controller. This would be your visitor portal. So this has the ability for a visitor to walk up to it, engage with the screen, it's a touch screen, and be able to find a resident that lives there or call in to get the door open or whatever. And then we also have the door controller, and the door controller is something that would be for resident access only. So I'll give you an example. At a gated community, you would have this at your front gate. So when a visitor is coming in to visit a resident, they would go on here, they would find their resident through the directory, call the resident would open the gate, and they would come in. But the residents also can get into back gates, and maybe that's how they get into their community. So they have a transmitter or a credential card or whatever, and they just pull into a gate and press their transmitter. It talks to a door controller that's already attached to the system, and then the gate opens because it's resident access. I don't need to call anybody because that's the only residents use that. So you can have as many of these connected as you want, and they don't even have to be in the same area to be connected, and I'll explain. So we let the cloud do all the work. It's kind of small. It's a pretty picture. Basically what it is that if I have a gated community and I've got my iPack at the front and I have two door controllers at two different entrances in the back, I can go and add them all to my gated community, and then I set up my residents and I say all the residents have access to the front gate and the two back gates Monday through Friday all the time. And then I have one gate that's only open Monday through Friday, so on weekends, only other two are at. So if you set up the residential, you set that all up in the cloud, and as you're setting it up, it's done. It's all real time. If I add a resident, that resident can get in within 30 seconds to a minute. It's all done. You're not sitting there uploading your changes to the access control system. Everything is real time. Where this is really cool is if you've got a multi-divisional gated community where maybe there's a road, a highway that goes right between them, you can actually set up the community all as one, and there's no trenching to get wires underneath a county road to connect another gate to get into another area of the community. You can also add in, put door controllers in for your golf club or your fitness center or your community center, and credentials to get into there, and everything is all done in the cloud real time. So if somebody decides to join the golf club and you want to add them so they have access to those particular amenities in the community, you go into the thing and they have access to those, and you don't do anything. And you can do it from your mobile phone, you can do it from an iPad, you can do it from, you just have to be able to log in to that gated community and have administrative rights. So it's a really nice system. There is a monthly fee. You do need to work with phone.com to get a SIP. So there is some extra work to get it done, but the ease of use and the way that it just alleviates a lot of the stress off of the property managers is tenfold better. And this is kind of what we're using as the basis for the commercial door operators in a commercial environment. We're using this cloud, but instead of using maybe the iPack, we're using all door controllers to control all the doors. Each door controller can control two doors or two devices. I can control the gate. I can have a credential. I can put a receiver on it to work with our passport radios as well. And the iPack actually comes with the passport receiver built in, so you can add transmitters or credential cards to that. We do have a new product coming out if you want to take a sneak peek at it. It was at IDA, but if you go to LiftMaster.com and scroll down to Access and click on all the access control systems, one of the new products will pop up. It's called the CAP XL. I highly recommend that you take a look at it. So if you saw the previous version of what our iPack looked like, it's got a pretty nice touch screen. The CAP XL has a full color screen. You can get awesome pictures of your community or whatever you want to do. You can load them in, you can change them, you can put happy holidays. It's all really kind of cool for the community itself. But it can do a lot more. And then the nice thing about the CAP XL coming out, and I'm not exactly sure when it's coming out, but they put it on LiftMaster.com to get everybody kind of interested in it, is that it has the ability to wirelessly talk to gate operators. So you can actually connect the gate operator wirelessly versus having to wire it to a relay. The gate operator is going to have to be enabled to be able to accept that, so you might have to update a board or something if you have an existing gate operator, but that's going to be one of the cool features. And the passport radio is built in. There's no additional receiver anymore that's kind of sitting inside the panel. It's actually built into the system, and everything is you just set up on the LiftMaster cloud for the receiver as well. So we're jumping light years into the CAP XL. Again, I highly recommend that you take a look at it, www.liftmaster.com/all-access, I think. But look under access control. It's called the CAP, C-A-P XL. All right? And that's about all I got. Any questions? We're good? All right.
All right. Thanks again, Cherie, for the presentation. And we're going to close it out with our final presenter here today. So here we go, Lauren Johnson. And Lauren Johnson has been with LiftMaster since January of 2016. She's been working as a safety ambassador. And she has her MBA in entrepreneurship from the University of Michigan. Let's welcome Lauren.
Hey everyone. Obviously they had to beef up my bio a little bit because I'm newer to the industry, right? But I'm here to talk about safety. So, you guys ready to become champions of safety? Yes, I see it, yes, woo! So, as leaders in the garage door, commercial door, and gate industries, we at LiftMaster, we really believe it is our mission and our responsibility to lead the way in promoting safety. Use us as your complete safety partner for all your installation solutions. So why does safety matter? Why does it matter? 1 in 15 residential garages may lack the latest safety features or not be operating properly. And with 70% of residential homeowners relying on their garage door as their primary point of access, it's our job to let them know that they need to get updated on these safety features. Most people don't think about it until something happens. They don't want little Fluffy coming under that garage door opener and his tail gets stuck under there, right? So it's our job to help them get updated on these latest safety features. So, UL 325, we've been talking a lot about that. With residential, the new updates came in 1993 of January, which required monitor safety devices. Commercial followed behind that in August 2010 with monitored entrapment devices, followed by gates in January of 2016. So connected, we talked a lot about connection and connectivity today. Even with connectivity, we still are ensuring safety in those features. With our residential openers with that Myq Technology that we've been talking about, you can use that alert to close, and that helps fulfill that UL 325 requirement. Also has audible and visual alerts, and requires the garage door to close the garage door when not in the line of sight. With commercial operators, the required monitor entrapment devices to control the door from a remote location also fulfills that UL 325 requirement. And the same goes for those gate operators. So opportunity, I'm sure if you guys can see those pictures, you guys are still seeing some of these pre-1993 garage doors out there, right? I'm sure you still are. This is a great opportunity to not only promote safety, but also to build your business. This is an opportunity to educate the customer about the needs, about the UL 325 standards, and how we're requiring photo eyes to be installed as an extra added level of safety to their garage door opener, and replacing these out-of-date garage door openers. And while we're at it, getting them connected with some new garage door openers as well. And to do that, we have our 3-step safety check with that don't chance it, check it icon, which is really the cornerstone of our safety program. So we'll dig into that a little bit. So it's 3 steps. It's really easy, but it's an extra level that you can do when you're out there and you're doing your customers, as opposed to just recommending a new opener. We can do a safety check to really show them why we feel like they need to update that. So with the safety check, there's 3 steps. 1, we're checking the size of the garage door for properly installed photo eyes, mounted no higher than 6 inches off the floor. Step 2, block the photo eye with an object over 6 inches tall and press the garage door opener's close button. The door should not close. Step 3, lay a 1.5-inch object on the ground in the door's path and press the close button. The door should reverse off this object. We've got some great safety videos on our website as well that you can check that out. So if they fail any of those, we're going to kind of red tag that unit and let the homeowner know that they need to update. Their unit has not passed the safety inspection. Why do that? A, we're bringing awareness to the homeowner about our latest safety features. B, we're promoting safety. Again, most of them are using that garage door as their main point of access of entry. So as a preventative of anything happening, we're going to let them know so that they can get up to date. And many just don't know any better. They just don't know. Usually when you buy a home, if the garage door is working, you don't think about it, right? You don't think about those latest safety features. So it's our job to help keep them up to date and let them know that while it's working, it may not be entirely safe for them and their family. So the rule of 6s for commercial door entrapment devices. UL 325 states the safety sensors must be mounted no higher than 6 inches off the floor. But is that all? Hopefully you guys are internally shaking your head no, because it's not. Safety sensors must also be 6 inches from the door as well as 6 inches up from the floor. So that's what we refer to as our rule of 6. Following this, we believe will help keep the safety devices, protect them against point of contact from rain, snow, outside things, and also prevent questions and unnecessary service calls and warranty claims for you. So monitor photo eye placement for gate operators. So while there's no real requirement about the level of height, we do recommend that they should be mounted no higher than 27 inches up and no further than 5 inches from the entrapment zone. This way we believe is going to give the greatest impact for safety within those entrapment zones. So inform the customer. If you haven't seen the safety checklist, you definitely should get it. It's something that you can leave with the homeowner. Of course, you can leave your contact information with it, and it's color coded. Green, of course, means they've passed the inspection. Yellow means, hold on, it's starting to show some wear and tear. Maybe you might want to have us come out or consider replacing that unit. Red is stop. We need to look at updating your unit. You need to replace it. We need to get you updated on the lady safety features. Beyond just telling the homeowner this, you can leave this checklist with them. There's 2 copies, one for you, one to leave with the homeowner. Leave that behind. They can contact you so that they can update their operator. Train your team. We at LiftMaster have a whole team of safety ambassadors, myself included, that want to come out. We want to get your teams trained. This is an added level that you can use as you're promoting your business. We are safety certified with LiftMaster. Who doesn't want to use somebody who's safety certified, right? It gives that reassurance that we do value your safety in your home. We have a team that can come out. You can also do this online. We've got our LiftMaster Academy where you can get safety certified through our online safety trainings as well. If you had one of us come out, we do bring donuts, right? Who doesn't love donuts? So some of our dealer tools. We've got, of course, our safety checklist. We've got some cool coloring books with our safety cat. It is a cat. It looks more like a squirrel or like a fox, but it's a safety cat that you can use. These are tools that you guys can get from the LiftMaster Dealer Extranet or contact your local safety ambassador. These you can use out in the community as you're promoting your business. You can also promote safety, and you can give your customers that added value that is what we do. We believe in that. So remember, of course, that with that don't chance to check it icon, if you don't already have it, you need to get it. Get safety certified. Greater safety gives homeowners greater peace of mind, greater assurance in your services, and also helps increase revenues, right? If we're informing our customers that they need to get updated, that's an opportunity to help build on your business, an opportunity to help build relationships with your customers and help us promote safety within the community. So I went kind of fast because we were going over, but hopefully you don't have any questions for me. But if you do, please ask. If you're not safety certified, get safety certified. If you are, thumbs up, you guys rock. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lauren. And just if we could do one more round of applause for all 3 of the presenters. So I'd also like to take a moment now and just go through a couple last items here before we close. I'd like to take a moment and just make sure that you guys know to not forget about the raffle. You know, you guys have the opportunity to win some Service Spring and LiftMaster gear. And if you're watching online, what you got to do is click the Woofu form link to enter that information. What you got to do next is the winner will be announced on Facebook, so make sure you're going to our Facebook page and checking that out. Give us a like, and then if you're an Orlando customer, we also have Service Spring Orlando Facebook page as well. And just wanted to say once again, we love putting this event on. We hope, you know, this is for you guys, and we hope that you guys get something out of this event. We hope you guys got a lot of good information out of this, and we appreciate you guys coming. So thank you very much.